Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to my channel. I hope you're all doing really well. Wow, I feel like it's been quite a day. I don't know about you guys, but today has been a little bit of a roller coaster energetically and emotionally. And so I wanted to come on here just to share some downloads, to share some messages and some thoughts, and to do a little bit of a card pull most likely as well, just to see what we can bring through. Hopefully, if you are someone who's been struggling today, or you've just been feeling overwhelmed in this world or a little bit alone, then I hope that this message can provide the upliftment and the recharge and the spiritual nourishment, so to speak, that you might be needing along your journey at this time. So I'm going to go ahead and pull a card from the Work Your Light Oracle. I would love to know how you've been feeling in the comment section. I am going to speak on this more in the collective reading that I'm doing on, well, I would say tomorrow, but I'm posting this 12 hours prior to the posting of the collective reading. So I guess it's not quite the next day, but in that collective reading, I imagine that we'll be diving deeper into more of what some of these roller coaster energies some of you might be experiencing could mean for you. But I did want to do a little bit of a reading here. I don't know how long this video is going to be. This might be more of a shorter message, but I really wanted to just come on, even if it's just briefly, for those of you who might need this. So here I have the card, the Age of Light, and also Anna, grandmother of Jesus, seeding the light, laying foundations, divine plan. You've been training for this for lifetimes. Every lifetime that you've ever had is culminating to what you are doing now. And that's why you incarnated in this lifetime with such a strong sense of who you are. For the person that I'm tuned into here, you are someone who was born in this world knowing that you came here to do something profound or to have some kind of a profound impact. And this may have actually led to feelings of restlessness early on in your life, because you may have had, I'm hearing the restlessness of the soul, the restlessness of someone who is so spiritually connected to their inner self that even though we all go through that veil of amnesia where there is that divine forgetting of the exact intentions we held in this lifetime, you felt to the core of you that there was something that you came here to do. You had this nagging feeling that you had been training for this moment because you had been through all of those previous lifetimes. And of course, we get the card, the Lovers. You had been training, I have to say, it's interesting, I didn't create as much twin flame specific content for a period of time. Not because it's not still relevant or important, because of course, many of us are on a very unique and intense twin flame journey that has profoundly awakened us and shaped and affected our entire life. So it's of huge significance, but I like to create content as I feel guided and to practice listening to that intuition. And I felt less guided to be creating as much twin flame specific content for a period of time, although of course we would still discuss twin flame and the twin flame journey frequently on the channel. It just wasn't typically the main focus of many videos, but there's been a shift, and I feel that many of you may have sensed this in your own lives as well, which is why I'm bringing it up. It's this shift back to talking and sharing a bit more about divine counterparts, about the role of twin flame in the global ascension process and the awakenings happening around the world. I've actually not just seen this shift in myself, I've noticed certain other channels beginning to share more about twin flames or the divine feminine, the divine masculine, and to more openly share about these topics as well. And for some reason, I'm just getting this now as a download, but for someone here listening, you may have had this nagging feeling for a while to start sharing some of your own story as someone who is a twin flame. Maybe that's been a major part of your spiritual growth and awakening process, and you've been shying away from sharing this story or sharing your own thoughts on these types of topics. And I'm hearing open a channel. So for some of you, this may be a sign to open a YouTube channel, maybe specifically, and start sharing your voice with the world and sharing your story. I'm hearing your story will inspire others. But for others of you, this could be opening a channel in a more symbolic sense. So using yourself as a channel for art or music or something that's possibly been inspired by your twin flame experience. So naturally, because the reading has gone this direction, which I really didn't expect it to go, I will be using the term twin flame in my video title. So what I'm getting is I'm picking up on a specific group here that has been training lifetimes to incarnate in this lifetime with their twin flame. I do feel for many of you, you were at least for a time or still are incarnated physically with your twin flame. Now, of course, for others of you, your twin flame may not be currently incarnated. They might be someone that you're just consciously connecting with. But regardless, this has been something that you've had to heavily train for because you knew that it wouldn't be easy. And you knew that you'd be breaking with convention in so many ways. And you knew that this path would be so isolating at times. In fact, you can probably look back on your life and see that prior to meeting your twin flame or consciously connecting with them, you were a lot less socially isolated, or you felt more 3D connected. This is one of the prices that we pay spiritually for our freedom, meaning like for our freedom of mind, our freedom of soul. One of the prices that we pay for this through our awakening is we go through periods of time where we actually feel like such an outsider, where we no longer feel like we socially belong, because one of the draws of the physical 3D matrix, part of what makes unconsciousness so enticing, is that there's such an artificial sense of community in unconsciousness, in a lack of awakening. But I say it's artificial because although you don't see that it's artificial until you're outside of it, it's not really real. It's not really based on deeper, authentic connection, but it can feel real to an extent if you've never experienced anything else. And that's how most people are living. I don't even know if I would say most anymore, because so many people are beginning to awaken and the ascension is happening very quickly. We are collectively ascending to higher levels of consciousness. But I will say many, many, many people, if not most, do still live in this sense of artificial connectedness to other people. Usually this connectedness comes through some shared belief system, shared values, culture, community, these masks that we put on, these aspects of ourselves that we put on so that we don't feel alone, so that we can feel that artificial sense of connectedness to other people. But when you peel back all the layers through your spiritual awakening, it's like there's nothing really to connect to artificially with people anymore. You can't forge the same artificial connections just because you have the same political ideology or because you're from the same community or culture or have the same belief system, because you start stripping everything back and getting back to the core of who you really are, where you are at that core connected to all people and things. But the thing is, when you strip back all of the layers of your own identity, your own ego, your own what you would have defined as yourself, what's left is your authentic core. And yes, that authentic core of you connects with everyone and everything, but it connects with them at their core. And most people aren't connecting with their own inner core, and therefore they won't even feel that connection to you or realize that you're connecting with them authentically. Or in some cases, they'll even run away from you, because someone who's not ready and willing to connect with themselves authentically is not going to be capable of connecting with you in that way. So ironically, through your spiritual awakening, your ability now to connect so unconditionally with all people and things can actually be so isolating in the physical world, because it can feel as though it's actually limiting your ability to superficially connect. But that's a gift, and it's a transformative one, because what you're really doing is seeing people for who they really are beneath all the layers. And yes, some people are going to run away from that. But ultimately, if you keep seeing someone for who they really are, more often than not, eventually that actually begins to activate and awaken them. And that's a major part of the role that you came to play here on the planet. I really wasn't expecting to speak on all of this. So many downloads have been coming through for someone here. Maybe someone has a grandmother figure who's connecting with them in some way, because we do have that grandmother kind of energy. This could be a great grandmother for someone. But what I'm getting with the Lovers card reversed is that someone I'm speaking to has gone through a very intense twin flame separation in the physical, or is currently going through that kind of separation. Whether it's something that happened in the past or is currently occurring, this is something that I'm hearing this connection has broken you down in more ways than you could have ever imagined, but it's also lifted you up in more ways than you can ever imagine. And that's why it's so hard to explain to other people, and also why it's even hard to understand internally, because I feel this really deep gratitude within you, on the one hand, for the way this connection and this experience has so deeply elevated you and transformed you into your truest version. And yet, on the other hand, there's all of this pain, and there was this breaking down process that took place. I'm hearing it's all part of the plan. Can I get more information here? Okay, so we have the Three of Cups reversed. There might be people talking about your twin flame journey or misunderstanding it. You may have the sense that whenever you try to open up about this journey to certain people who can't understand it, and I say that they can't because they actually can't from an energetic perspective, because if you are someone with a closed heart, you cannot energetically process the twin flame connection. You can't conceptualize it. It's like your closed heart space will immediately reject it, because twin flame is an unconditional love bond. It's a bond that it just unexplainably exists, and it's always within you, and it is completely without condition. And someone who has their heart really closed off would not be able to comprehend and would even reject the idea of such a connection. And I feel like in the past, or maybe even recently, maybe this has come up because it happened recently, but you may have tried to share your twin flame journey or aspects of this with someone who has a very closed heart space, or with a group of people who are very closed. And you may have experienced either some rejection or someone pretending to kind of understand, but then gossiping about that situation or talking about it to other people. And apparently there was a card from the traditional tarot that fell out when I was doing a previous reading, because I just found it on the floor. It's amazing. I haven't permanently lost some of the cards in this deck yet with how much they're falling out. But I have the Page of Pentacles reversed here. And yeah, this card is someone who doesn't appreciate you. So I feel as though this could represent that person or that group of people that you tried to share your journey with who just couldn't understand. That could be the case. But I have to say that this also could represent your twin flame counterpart. I am speaking to a very specific group of people, or maybe just one person. So if this isn't feeling aligned for your intuition, just leave it here. But for someone listening, this is going to sound so strange, but you'll know how this relates for you if this is for you. For someone listening, your twin flame so deeply sees and embraces and understands your soul, but doesn't appreciate you in the physical or in human form. Or there's this feeling that this connection sees into your soul, but doesn't give you what you need at this moment physically in the 3D world, or doesn't appreciate you or express that appreciation for you in the physical world. And so that leads to a lot of pain. I'm hearing the only one who sees me can't appreciate me at the moment or something. Now, again, this won't be for everyone. This feels like a really, really deep reading. What else can I channel about this very specific twin flame situation? Yeah, so there's a conflict here. We have the conflict card and also the Emperor reversed. So for many of you listening, if you are coming up as the divine feminine, then this person is a divine masculine who's more so in their wounded masculine energy. Now, specifically, I'm seeing this masculine has a sacral chakra wound, and this wound is around so deeply being afraid of rejection or abandonment. And in fact, I feel you're sensitive to that fact. You're attuned to that. If this is for you, you know that this masculine has this wound around rejection, around abandonment. And in fact, they may have even showed you their soft side from time to time. You may have seen them open up or get very emotional about this at times, very sensitive about this, but then they kind of wall it back up again or close it back up again. And because of this unhealed wound, this is someone who I'm just hearing they abuse their power. I'm not sure why I'm picking up on that. I'm picking up, it's almost like this is someone who doesn't handle power or status or material things well or wisely, because they're so wounded in their sacral. It's like they use these things to try and avoid being rejected or to avoid being abandoned, but it never fills that emptiness within them. And you've seen this play out in this person. You understand them on such a deep level. You also see their potential to become the emperor, to become the healed version of themselves. You see that it's just an unhealed kind of energy that's affecting them in this way. What else can I channel for the beautiful soul who's tuned in here? Whoa, I kind of just bumped the microphone. Hopefully that didn't come through too loudly. We have the card Fifth Dimension. So yeah, there is a very complex dynamic here because in the physical, there is this conflict. Now, this might be conflict between you and this person. This may be internal conflict where you're feeling deeply conflicted. I feel that you've really worked on your self-image and your sense of self-confidence, and this has actually increased the internal conflict here or the external conflict, because you're really coming into your power and you are willing to set strong self-protective boundaries. You've locked into that frequency of self-love, and the wounded emperor is feeling a bit triggered by that because this is someone who is so terrified of being abandoned that the only way they know how to feel safe within a connection is to hold some kind of power over the other person, whether it's perceived power or some kind of material, literal status or power or finances or whatever it is. But the thing is, you've become whole and complete within yourself. You've empowered yourself and shifted the balance of power here. And that has pushed this person into facing their deepest wound, which is this fear of abandonment. And you might be feeling some internal conflict, but what you need to know is you've done the most powerful thing you possibly could have done for yourself, for this person, or for the potential of this connection, which is choosing to empower yourself, choosing to build your confidence, to love yourself, to set strong self-supportive boundaries. Because in doing this, yes, it's made this emperor uncomfortable, but that's because it's pushing them to face their biggest wound and to heal. And meanwhile, regardless of what you've chosen in the physical realm regarding this person, know that the two of you are still very much connecting on a soul level, and that's not going anywhere. Regardless of what you choose, who you choose to connect with, how you choose to move forward in a self-supportive, self-loving way, you can release the fear of losing this fifth dimensional version of the connection, because you and this emperor's souls are intertwined. You always will be supporting one another in the fifth dimension. But it's your choice to continue empowering, loving, and supporting yourself that's actually assisting this other soul in healing. So, wow, that felt like quite a message for someone. I really hope that reached you if it was for you. Keep trusting yourself and trusting these self-supportive decisions and choices that you are making, even if there is that internal conflict from time to time. So I'm going to be pulling a final Rumi Oracle card. While I'm shuffling, I also do want to share with you my personal favorite tool for shifting and aligning my own energy and manifesting in my own life. And these are subliminals. Subliminals are audio meditation tracks that are designed to bypass the conscious filter of the mind with affirmations targeted to the subconscious mind. Now, this is so powerful because it's actually our subconscious mind that controls 95% of our thoughts, And therefore, of course, since our thoughts are reflected in our energy, when we reprogram that 95% that is the subconscious mind, we can very quickly shift our energy and manifest in our lives. Now, personally, I have seen more powerful results using subliminals than any other manifestation tool. So I am so excited to be sharing my very own Subliminals app with all of you here. This app is really created from my heart and soul. This is an absolute passion project for me. It's something I envisioned for years prior to creating it, and I've put so much love into this. I have really created subliminals that I personally use and that I know many of you have benefited from as well. But as you can see on the screen, I do have over 130 different subliminals. So these are for essentially every area of life: mood, mindset, love, relationships, different material manifestations, and I even have a category specifically for twin flames. And when you sign up for a 7-day trial account in the app, you can access any subliminal I've created. You can listen to them in 10 different background sound options. You can read the affirmations while you're listening, and you can even create your own custom private playlist, which is really my personal favorite feature. So specifically for this reading, if you do consider yourself to be a twin flame, I would most highly recommend 2 different subliminals. The first is the Twin Flame 7 Chakra Clearing. This is so helpful for anyone who considers themselves to be a twin flame because it's a very deep level, comprehensive energy clearing tool designed to clear out any energetic blockages you might be storing in the 7 chakras and to really magnetize your energy for attracting loving experiences and people and things into your life. It helps to align you with the energy of unconditional love. The second subliminal I would recommend is either the Awakened Divine Feminine or the Awakened Divine Masculine, depending on which one you resonate with more, because this will really activate you into your true power and help you to manifest more effortlessly and confidently in your life. So you can even add both of these to a playlist if you feel guided to do so. And again, if you do want to sign up for the app, the link to download is in the pinned comment and description box underneath this video. But the final Rumi Oracle card here is the card Layla. So I'm just going to read a quick guidebook message here. And the guidebook says, "For this moment, there is darkness, and that is essential for the appearance so imminent, beloved, of the light on its way. Do not fight, bear witness instead. Allow what is taking place to take place. Allow what is happening to happen. You shall find a joy in allowing the interplay of darkness and light to take place according to a greater unfolding rhythm of your own divine growth process." So I'm going to leave the reading here. Feel free to leave me a comment if anything here resonated. Of course, I would love for you to subscribe to the channel as well. Join our beautiful community of like-minded, conscious, creative beings here on YouTube. You can also follow me on Instagram at Magnetize Yourself. And of course, the link to download my Subliminals app, Sound and Soulful, is under the video. Otherwise, I am sending you all so much love and light today. Have a beautiful day, and I will connect with you again in the next video.